Hey guys, LA here. And in this video I'm going to show you guys how to install Windows 10 onto Proxmox. Now there's a couple of things that you'll want to have in order to get started with this tutorial. Of course you'll need to have Proxmox installed on your server. In the previous video I showed you guys how to download and install Proxmox onto a PowerEdge server. PowerEdge server that I'm using right now is the R610, and I deployed that operating system using iDRAC 6. You'll also need to have an ISO of Windows 10, and you can get that from Microsoft's website using the media creation tool. And additionally, you'll need to have a set of drivers for Windows and Proxmox. This set of drivers is called the VirtIO drivers. It comes in a ISO, and it helps Windows communicate with the virtual storage and virtual network. You can get the VirtIO drivers on the website docs.fedoraproject.org. I'll list the website below. I'll also list the website for the Windows Media Creation Tool below. On the Fedora project website, the ISO is actually located towards the bottom of the page. If you scroll down, you'll see an area here that says direct downloads, and the first link for the stable VirtIO-Win ISO is a link that you'll want to click on. So I already have those two ISOs downloaded, and I'm going to go ahead and get started with the installation. So I'm going to go ahead and log on to my virtual environment here. Now we'll need to upload those ISOs onto the local storage. So underneath the storage data center, click on local and content and upload. Now ISO image is going to be selected by default. You'll want to click on select files and navigate to the ISOs that you want to upload. Alright, so now that we have both of the ISOs loaded onto our local storage, we're going to go ahead and create the VMs. So we can click on Create VM in the upper right hand corner of the screen. For the name, we're going to enter in Windows 10 with no space. On the next step here, we're going to load our ISO. We're going to change the type to Microsoft Windows, and the version, we're going to make sure that that's set to 10. Alright, so on this page we're going to change the bus device to VirtIO block. The minimum requirement for running Windows 10 is 32 gigs, and we see that it's set to 32 gigs. I'm actually going to bump this to 35, and we're going to click on next. I'm going to change my sockets to 2 and my cores to 2, even though the minimum requirement is 1. I just like to have a little bit of extra wiggle room, and we're going to click on next. The memory requirements is 2 gigs for the 64-bit. And we're going to leave the network at the default settings, and we're going to review our settings and hit finish. Alright, so as you can see here on the left hand side of the screen, we have our Windows 10 virtual machine created here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that Windows 10 machine. Now before we get started, I'm also going to click on add and add a CD drive. Now I'm going to go to storage and select our local storage, and I'm going to load the VirtIO ISO image, and I'll hit create. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and start the virtual machine, and we're going to console in to interact with the virtual environment. Alright, now as you can see, we're on the Windows setup. Ensure that we have our language set and our time set as well, and we're going to hit next and install now. So I don't have a product key, and I'm going to click on I don't have a product key. I'm going to change the version to Windows 10 Pro and hit next. I'm going to accept the license terms and hit next. Now I'm going to do a custom install. Alright, so as you can see here, the Windows setup doesn't recognize any of the storage devices attached to the virtual machine. So we're going to fix that by loading the driver that's within the VirtIO ISO. So we're going to click on load driver, and we're now going to click on browse, and we can see here that our second CD that we created and attached the VirtIO to is listed here. So click on the drop down arrow for that and navigate to the last folder, which is the VIO STOR folder, and click on the drop down arrow for that. You'll see a W10 folder. Click on the drop down folder on that and click on AMD 64. Now we're going to hit next, and we'll see that it loads the drivers for that. Alright, so now the Windows setup is recognizing the disk drive, the virtual disk drive. So we can proceed with the installation by clicking next. Okay, so continuing on with the installation, I'm going to go ahead and click on yes since I'm set to the United States region. So I'm going to click on set up for personal use. I'm going to choose offline account, and I'm going to choose no. The name is going to be simply Windows 10. And my password is going to be a simple password. I'm going to choose no for Cortana, and I'm going to disable all of the options here. Alright, so as you can see, our setup is complete, and Windows 10 is currently running on our virtual machine, Proxmox. Alright guys, and there you have it. Windows 10 is fully installed on Proxmox. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave your question in the comments section. Thanks for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe.